You're lying in bed, lights off, and the room is completely silent. Nothing has changed, no sound, no movement, no actual threat. And yet, your heart rate quietly climbs, your senses sharpen, and some part of your brain insists that something is wrong. You're an adult. You know logically there's nothing in the dark. So why does your body refuse to believe you? Most people assume the fear of darkness is something we pick up as kids from scary movies, ghost stories, or an overactive imagination. But that explanation falls apart fast because the fear shows up in toddlers who've never seen a horror movie, in cultures with no shared mythology about monsters, and even in other primates who've never been told a single scary story in their lives. If fear of the dark were purely learned, it shouldn't be this universal, which means something deeper is going on, something built into us long before stories existed. To understand it, you have to picture where humans actually come from. Not cities, not houses, but open landscapes with almost no protection after sunset. For most of our evolutionary history, humans weren't the most dangerous thing in the dark. We were prey. Large predators like big cats are most active at night, specifically because their night vision outclasses ours by a massive margin. In daylight, an early human could see danger coming and react. At night, that advantage disappeared completely. Darkness didn't just hide threats, it erased our only real defense, which was sight. That's the part most people miss. The fear isn't really about darkness itself, it's about blindness. Your brain isn't afraid of the absence of light, it's afraid of the absence of information. And for an animal whose survival has always depended on seeing danger early, no information is the most dangerous state there is. It's old enough to predate you by 100,000 nights. This shows up clearly in how your brain behaves the moment light disappears. Neuroscientists have found that when visual input drops, the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, doesn't relax. It does the opposite, compensating for a missing sense by assuming the worst about what it can't verify. Your hearing sharpens, your skin becomes more sensitive to touch. Every creak in the house becomes a potential signal because your brain would rather give you 100 false alarms than miss one real threat. This bias has a name in psychology. It's better, evolutionarily speaking, to mistake a shadow for a predator 100 times than to mistake a predator for a shadow even once. That single asymmetry explains almost everything about how irrational the fear of darkness can feel. It's not that your brain is broken or overreacting for no reason, it's running a survival calculation so old that it predates language, predates tools, predates almost everything we think of as distinctly human. The math hasn't updated, even though the world completely has. That's why a grown adult, fully aware there's nothing under the bed, will still feel a flicker of hesitation before letting a foot dangle off the edge in the dark. And this is where it gets genuinely strange. Even now, with electricity, locked doors, and zero realistic predators waiting outside your bedroom, that ancient calculation still runs in the background every single night. You're not afraid of monsters. You never really were. You're afraid of not being able to see them coming, which is a completely different fear, one your body has been carrying since long before there was a you to be afraid in the first place. It's also why so many small modern habits quietly mirror ancient ones without anyone noticing. A child asking for a nightlight isn't just being fussy, they're recreating, in miniature, the exact thing that kept early humans alive. A small source of light, pushing back the edge of the unknown. Adults do the same thing in disguise, leaving a phone screen glowing or a hallway light on while they fall asleep. A modern campfire doing the same job a real one did for hundreds of thousands of years. So maybe the unsettling part isn't that we still fear the dark as adults, it's that we're not really reacting to our bedroom or our hallway or whatever room we're standing in right now. We're reacting to 100,000 years of nights where that fear kept our ancestors alive long enough to have us. In a strange way, every time your heart rate climbs in a dark room, you're feeling an echo of every ancestor who survived a night exactly like this one, and the few who didn't are the reason that fear still exists at all. Here's the question worth sitting with. Now that you know it's not about monsters, does the fear feel any different? Or does your body just keep running the program anyway? Comment your answer below. I'd love to know if knowing the why actually changes how it feels. Why do we think, feel, and act the way we do? Stay curious. Thanks for watching and join us on the next episode by subscribing to Why Humans.